In this video, we are going to dive into the question about what is a startup. Pulled up this article on Investopedia titled What a Startup Is and What's Involved in Getting One Off the Ground. A lot of you guys out there have commented on a few of my videos being like, whoa, hold on, I want to get a loan. I thought I was a startup, but I haven't been around for 2 years. I'm just a startup. Or how do you expect me to have made $20,000 already? I'm just a startup. Hold on, I got you guys covered. We're going to answer those questions in this video because there's definitely a lot of confusion there. And unfortunately, there isn't really a set definition, right? You can come here on Investopedia, you can go on Forbes, go on any, business oriented site that has a definition of a startup, and it's probably going to be slightly different. It'll be slightly tweaked. So unfortunately, I can't give you guys like one set, this is the hard definition of what a startup is. But like I said, we're going to dive in this article, and I did also just do a simple search here in Google saying how many years is a startup. And the first thing you see here, it says is a startup is a company no older than 3 to 5 years. Now it goes on and they have kind of a list of what they define a startup to be. Using an innovative or disruptive business model or technology, targeting a significant revenue or staff growth. Again, they have kind of a list, but if you go down, we can see down here, this says a startup is a company already. It is just a very young company that is usually in the first 1 to 3 years of existence. So this one says a startup is 1 to 3 years. Up here, they're saying it's no older than 3 to 5 years. If you come down here, how long will it take to have a successful startup? I get this question a lot. The short answer is it takes at least 4 years just to get pointed toward a real business. And I'd argue it takes 7 to 10 years. I bet they're going to say before you're kind of out of that startup phase. So they're kind of saying about 4 years. So like I mentioned, my friends, there is no set number of years that technically is going to be like, okay, if you're under, so if you're looking for particular grants or loans or programs that are geared towards startups, understand that although you are literally just starting your business and you have only been around for 6 months or 2 months or less than a year or maybe 1 year, but you haven't generated much revenue or any revenue, well, there are many businesses who have been around for a few years who are still in that startup phase and have generated profits or earnings. And, it does put them in positions to qualify for a lot of those programs that are being rolled out. And again, you can't be mad at what is considered what is a startup. Every grant, every loan program, they're all different. And if anything, it's like be mad at the company or the provider for having their criteria as hard and tough as it is. Now, it makes sense because this is them saying, hey, we just want to make sure we get our money back. And this is the criteria. This is the requirements that the standard that we want, to throw out there and uphold for our partners that we're going to lend this money to, because that's kind of what it is, a partnership. And you don't want to give your money to someone you don't trust or that hasn't proven themselves to be reliable. So that's kind of where all of that comes into the picture. But like I said, there's no real set number of years that's going to be out there when it comes to what a startup. I actually worked for a company that I believe when I was there, I think we were in like 5 or 6, year 5 or 6, maybe even 7. And we were still like they wanted us to still use the term startup. And like that first article, the one on LinkedIn that I didn't go to, they have, not only is it a company that's no older than 3 to 5 years, but you got to meet these other criteria that they are saying what a startup is, having some innovative and disruptive technology and, business product and whatnot. When we look over here at Investopedia, it says the term startup refers to a company in the first stages of operations. Startups are founded by one or more entrepreneurs who want to develop a product or service for which they believe there is demand. These companies generally start with high costs and limited revenue, which is why they look for capital from a variety of sources such as venture capitalists. The key takeaways is that a startup is a company that's in its initial stages of business. Founders normally finance their startups and may attempt to attract outside investment before they get off the ground. Funding sources include family and friends, venture capitalists, crowdfunding, and loans. Must also consider where they'll do business and their legal structure. Startups come with high risk, as failure is very possible, but they can also be very unique places to work with great benefits, a focus on innovation, and great opportunities to learn. So I'm not going to go into this article anymore. I'm just going to have a link to it down below if you guys want to dive more into it, understanding startups, special considerations, advantages, disadvantages, examples, and the bottom line. But ultimately, there's no set number of years. Like I said, that's the blueprint, right? Technically, if you're probably within the first 3 years, you can say I'm a startup. 5 years, you're pushing it. But there are lots of programs that are rolled out there for businesses that have been around for 1 or 2 years and have earned a little money. Those of you who haven't earned that money, well, or any money, any revenue or whatnot, you're just in year 1, year 2, still struggling to get the ball rolling. Well, obviously you want to stay optimistic, keep your, the foot on the gas pedal, and don't lose hope. Keep looking for programs that are being rolled out that are for individuals that have not necessarily earned a set amount of money over the first year or the last year or the past 2 years, because there are programs that are available for those of you in those situations as well. But all right, my friends, I hope that answered your questions. If you are, if they're still a little blurry, a little hazy on some things, feel free to comment down below. While you're down there, smash that thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date on all of our latest and upcoming video content. But all right, my friends, you already know I got to keep it moving. But if you want to make sure you're protecting what hard-earned money you have brought in, maybe you haven't brought in a lot, but you brought in a little money, and you're self-employed, or you do have an actual LLC, DBA, independent contractor, well, you want to make sure you have business insurance. If not, consider checking out this video next. Learn all about it.